Hello, everyone. Uncle Rob with you, and I am in Little Rock, Arkansas. It seems like I'm always in Little Rock, Arkansas. Uncle Rhino is on the road again. What's happening, my man?
Oh, I'm just kicking it over here at Bear Ridge Lodge in Lej, Georgia.
Lej?
Mm-hmm.
That's Lake, Georgia.
Yeah, that's nice.
We've got ourselves a guest today that was recently on The Voice, and she's going to talk to us about that and a lot more. We want to learn a little bit about her, who she is, where she's from. Makenzie Phipps, how you doing?
Good. Thank y'all so much for taking the time to speak with me today.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in a small town. I was actually born right on the Virginia-West Virginia line in a town called Bluefield, and that is where literally everything with me began. I started singing at such a young age, being 4, in church, and from that point on, I always knew music is what I wanted to do with my life, and I feel like it's really what the Lord put me on this earth to do. And it's been a crazy journey, to say the least. We were talking before this interview just about my age and everything like that, and although I am still young, I feel like I am just so old because I got started singing when I was 4, and then I started doing my own shows in public when I was learning instruments and really singing and trying to do my own shows when I was 14, and now I'm 24. So it's been like a whole round of decades thus far with my career, but I'm very, very grateful for everything that the Lord has made happen in my life, and it has just been a crazy journey. I'm right now currently in Nashville. I moved here going on 3 years ago to continue pursuing this crazy career, but I'm very excited to see what the future holds, and it has just been insane.
Are you solely singer in Nashville, or do you have a job that you could go to Monday through Friday, or?
Yes, so I've been a full-time musician basically since I was 14. Now, when I moved to Nashville, I did decide to, of course, move out on my own, because at the time when I moved, my parents also moved with me because they are very supportive of me and my career and have always believed in me. So they decided to pack up their stuff and move to Nashville with me just to kind of get my feet off the ground a little bit. And then when I decided to move into my own place with my husband, I did go and get a part-time job. I actually work now at a dog hotel, so that's pretty dang cool if you ask me. It's a literal dog hotel, but I've been in animal work now for going on 5 years, especially when I was in my later teenage years. I used to volunteer at a shelter out in West Virginia, and I had my own little spotlight segment that I called Take Me Home Thursday, where I would showcase a shelter dog and, advocate for them and do a video talking about what they would need in a household, why they're a good candidate to be adopted, all this kind of stuff. So I've very much been big with animal work for a long time, and it just really comes easy to me working with animals. So that's my part-time job, and then I do music every day of the week.
So do you have any animals of your own?
I do. I have 2 little rotten heathens. They're 2 cats. I work with dogs, but I am a cat person through and through. I get my fix of dogs. Do the cats not
get upset you come home smelling like dog?
No, honestly, they've gotten used to it. I adopted my girl from a cat rescue in West Virginia back in 2021. And then I recently adopted my boy 2 years ago at a shelter out in Tennessee. But they've gotten pretty used to all the scents whenever I come home.
Speaking of West Virginia, I've been a lot of places in this country, and West Virginia and Virginia, that whole area there with the Blue Ridge Mountains and the Shenandoah Rivers and all that, dude, it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. October that's one of the best times to be there.
No, I 100% agree. I was born right on the Virginia-West Virginia line, and there's always a debate about, well, what state is Take Me Home Country Roads by John Denver really about? And I just get to say I'm in the middle, because I literally am in the middle of Virginia and West Virginia, so I don't have a dog in the fight. I am on both sides.
I love that song, and every time I went through West Virginia, that song was, I guess they play that song every day. On country stations in West Virginia, because I could not go without hearing that song.
Well, yeah, it's our state anthem, and he could not have captured the beauty in Virginia and West Virginia. Whoever out there debates which state it's about, but he really captured just how everything looks. I mean, it is gorgeous. That's one thing I do miss from being back home is the simplicity of just being in a small town and just being around people that you've grown up with your entire life. And it's kind of a town that really never changes. I mean, it's always going to be home, and especially the four seasons. I mean, in Tennessee we do get the four seasons, but it's just like on a different level, I feel, especially summer, because we have 90 plus temperatures. And in my hometown we had a tradition where if it even got to 90, they would pass out free lemonade in town, because it never happens. Like, our summers in Virginia are like 83 degrees.
Looks like it's time for me to go get some lemonade, because it's like 94 we here today. One thing I remember about West Virginia, and I'm sure in other states it was that way, but around Charleston, I remember you're on the highway and you can look down and you can see the entire town below you, and it's like there's not many places I actually experienced seeing that, and that was very, very vivid in my memory. It's so awesome around that whole area around Charleston, and I guess, what is it, the Kentucky border, I guess.
Yeah. I wasn't too close to the Charleston area, so the part of Virginia I was born on, the Virginia and the West Virginia line, I was born in a town called Bluefield, and there is a Bluefield, Virginia, and a Bluefield, West Virginia. And I usually tell people whenever they're like, oh, well, where is Bluefield near? I tell them that we were an hour and a half from Bristol, because we were down in Southwest Virginia. So, but I have went out to Charleston before for different shows and that kind of stuff. It's a beautiful area.
Did some gas, oil well, gas field over around the Charleston and Clarksburg area. Did that for almost the whole winter of 2010. I'd spent a lot of time over there. Tell us a little bit about your time with The Voice. How did that come about? Where did you audition? What gave you the idea? You know what? I want to go. I want to see what I can do.
Yeah, so, I had actually auditioned for the show for quite a few years, especially in the beginning of my career being 14. And, I had submitted, to a bunch of different shows, more so, just American Idol and The Voice, because those were the two really big things. I've never had the urge to audition for America's Got Talent, because I just feel like America's Got Talent, there's so much more talent than singing. And I saw somebody make a post, they were like, I don't want to get on TV and watch America's Got Talent and watch somebody sing. I want to see somebody like sword swallowing and all this different stuff. And I kind of agree with that, because there's so much talent on America's Got Talent. So I've never tried auditioning for that show. But as far as with American Idol and The Voice, I used to audition quite frequently. I do like open calls, or I'd send in a video, that kind of thing. There's a bunch of different ways you can audition, but it was almost like I would audition and kind of make it a little step further, but not quite over that little peak. And so I think the Lord had that happen for a reason, because I look back at my experience, and at the time when I had done the show, I was 23, and looking at all the stress and anxiety, but also excitement, every possible human emotion you could have, I don't feel I would have handled it well being 14, 15. I think of Emily Ann Roberts, and I'm pretty sure she was 16 on the show, and how she did it, I do not know. It's definitely a different experience to go through, but I kind of put on hold for a bit, wanted to really dive into finding who I was as an artist. At that time I hadn't yet decided what genre I wanted to go in and everything like that, so I took a few years just to kind of build myself as an artist, get used to playing with other musicians, writing my own songs, that kind of thing, and really just starting to build my brand and build who Makenzie Phipps was. So my mom, she had sent me a picture that they were casting for, the season 28 of The Voice, and I was like, well, I'll send in something, it don't matter. So I sent in a video. I can't even remember what video it was, because this would have been the spring or summer of 24. And then they contacted me and was like, hey, the producers want to see you and they want you to perform for them. So I went and performed for them in Nashville in September of 24. And then they were like, okay, well, great, we love you and we want you to go to interview and talk with them. So I did that. And they were like, okay, well, you're not going to know until March, if you're continuing the process. And I was just like, oh my gosh, it's so long. It's such a long process.
It gives you time to forget about it.
I know. So, well, I couldn't forget about it because at that time, when I had met with the executives in September and they were like, you won't know until March. Well, at this time, my husband and I were planning our wedding. So I was like, this is a disaster. Like, I don't know what we're going to do. And, you know, when I got married, I never wanted like a big venue or anything like that. I always told myself when I got married, I was going to get married in a backyard. And that's exactly what I did. I got married at a woman's house. She just does weddings like as a side business thing on her property because she's got a beautiful property overlooking the Cumberland River. And so it kind of worked out because, you know, we didn't have to rent a place or anything like that. So I found out I was moving forward, and then they said, you're leaving in June. So I got married in the middle of the May, went on my honeymoon. I was home a week, and then I left for California and lived there for 2 months.
Did you ever watch Going with the Wind?
No, I have not.
If you watch Going with the Wind, the opening credits, the very opening of that is filmed here in North Little Rock, Arkansas. It's a place called the Old Mill. A lot of people get married there. That's where I got married, almost 28 years ago.
Wow.
So no church for me. It was just a preacher, and we were out there at the Old Mill. It was like I said, there's weddings like crazy out there. So I had to throw that in before I forgot. So
that means it's going to last because everybody that does the big Camelot weddings, they're still paying off the honeymoon when they got divorce attorneys. If you do it because it's just about the two of you guys and y'all are out there celebrating just the two of you and the people who love you, that's when you're going to make it. You're going to make that long run. I'm 29 years in right now, and we got married in Mount Juliet at a little horse farm over there right up the road from you. So kudos to you for knowing what was important on that day.
It'd be 28 years on August 15th. There were a lot of people that were like, give them 6 months. It's never going to last. Well, guess what? That person was married 4 times. And I've only been married once, and it's been 28 years. So
that's it. One time.
Who's got the last laugh now? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. So let's get back to you on The Voice. You go to California, right? Tell us what happens once you make it to California.
Yeah, so, you know, I was out there for quite some time, and, you know, that's one thing I really liked about The Voice is they really do invest in the contestants and the artists that are out there, and, you know, they want to make sure that you are as prepared as you possibly can be before stepping out on stage, and so it was a very exciting time, but of course we all were like, you know, I really hope that we get chair turns and everything like that. And for those that may have not had the chance to watch my season, I was actually the very last person on my team that auditioned and made a team. And that was absolutely terrifying and nerve-wracking and stressful, and I fear that it aged me. It really did. But I had went on the final day of auditions, and there was only one spot left by the time that I went. So all the other 3 coaches had their teams filled, and there was one coach left with one spot, and my coach did not turn until the very last word of my song. So I had to draw out all of the anticipation. But my coach was the iconic Snoop Dogg, and I was very, very thrilled to be on his team.
D-O-double-G.
Yes.
What was it like meeting Calvin Broches? What was he like? Was he cool?
He was very, very kind, very humble, sweet. You know, he's very tall. I had no clue that he was as tall as he was until, like, on our season, he gave all of us Death Row Records chains. I didn't wear mine right now for this interview, but he comes up and, like, actually puts it on you, and I hugged him, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's like hugging a worm. It's like hugging a worm. He's like so skinny and he's so tall, but he's just so kind. And I mean, I can genuinely say out of all of the coaches on my team, I hope it didn't lag out there. I had a little thing pop up on my computer. But out of all of the coaches on my season, you know, he definitely was the most involved with his team. You know, he was giving us different swag bags of his dog supply clothing line. You know, he was sending us gifts from our house even after we had gotten eliminated. And I mean, he even took those of us that had been eliminated thus far as they were airing the show, he took all of us to California again to perform for the halftime show at the Steelers-Chargers football game. So I thought that was pretty dang cool.
You already won.
Very cool.
You already won. I've seen hundreds of people in concert, and he's one of them I did get to see. And out of all of them, I really enjoyed it. It was something different than, heavy metal and country. It was more relaxed. Could have been the flavors in the air that had me thinking it was better than everything else. But enjoyed the Snoop Dogg concert for sure. All right, so you make it on Snoop's team. What comes next?
Yeah, so there's a bunch of different, phases of the show. So you have blind auditions, then you go into battles, and then you have knockouts, playoffs, and then after that point, you just have the finale. And I was fortunate, to make it to battles, and my battle partner, Lauren Anderson, and I, we did Before He Cheats by Carrie Underwood, and we brought the house down, and we were so excited just doing the song together and, getting to really learn about each other and getting to know each other through that whole process. And that was one thing that Snoop was really big on, especially for his team, was, you're not competing against each other. You're both coming together as two incredibly talented artists, and you're combining your talents and efforts and making something beautiful out of it. And I really, really enjoyed that lesson from Snoop, because he was very big on all of us just supporting and uplifting one another, no matter what happened on the show. And it was just really, really fun getting to work with him and getting to be a part of his team.
Did he ever call you on the phone?
No, he's not called me on the phone, but I do talk to his partner, and my team and I, we still talk. We catch up throughout the months.
Because I'd be like screenshot, just to prove to people, like, you can get the memes where it looks like, and I've done it, looks like Snoop Dogg is on the phone talking to you. You would actually have the real screenshot. That would be cool.
You have something really cool, and we preach this all the time. That's what Tribe is about. That's what we were talking about earlier. And that's what he's building with y'all. Once you've tasted the top of the mountain, it's so important for those who are trying to climb to understand that the people to their left and right are what means everything. That's what's meaningful. It's not your location. It's 100% what your composition is, what you are, what makes you you, and how well you lift up everything and everyone around them. That's what makes the difference. And him trying to encourage that is just a continued testament to why he has a legendary status in an industry that has often cut the back of others' legs. You only see that at the bottom rungs of the ladder. When people are doing that, they're not the right caliber. They can still be successful, but they'll be successful at the industry. They won't be successful at life. Okay. And what makes your life have meaning? It's the people around you who help lift you up and allow you to help pull them up when they need it. And so that's amazing. And I love that.
Yes, no, exactly. I mean, he was just truly incredible to work with, and I was very fortunate to have been on the show, because there's so many people out there that audition every year. And I think one of my friends I made from the show, her name was Camille, she had done the calculations, and there was like all of these people that audition, but to make it to California and like to do the blind auditions was like a 0.0006% of like people auditioning. So I think that's just, a incredible thing in itself, to be able to go out there. But I was very grateful for everything that I had come my way, especially from being on the show.
You got a better chance of getting hit by lightning than making it to that round.
Yeah.
So you made it. So okay. So let's get back to you. You did. You and Lauren did Before He Cheats. What happens?
So at that point, they have to pick a winner, and a lot of people actually did not know from my, airing, because there's so much that goes on with the shows, and of course the producers have to put all the pieces together and everything like that, so not everything is 100% accurate. But by the time that I had auditioned and done battles, in battles each coach has a save and a steal, and by the time my battle took place there was none left. So at that point, one of you staying and one of you is leaving, and, he just had to make the decision. But, I'm not butthurt about anything. Like I said, just to have made it on the show was just memorable to me in itself and rewarding in itself. I mean, that was my main goal, was just, I want to audition, I want to make it on the team and make it on the show, and that's exactly what I did, and I'm just very content with that.
Do you anticipate?
I know I have a dear friend of mine named Josh Keir, and I can speak on Josh's behalf on this. He wrote, by the way, before he cheats. So I know Josh would have absolutely loved it. I saw that performance. That was actually the first introduction that I had to Makenzie Phipps, and I was blown away. I told you, I don't blow smoke. I just spit it if I feel it, and that's the way it was. And I think that's when I talked to Rob and I said, no, this one right here belongs with what we're doing. So I didn't want to cut you off, Rob, but I wanted you to know that there's a lot of people that can look at that and they know exactly that you're not. I mean, girl, you just warming up. Forget getting started. You just warming up. You got so much that's fixing to come. So that's what I wanted to let Rob get in there and ask that. And then I wanted y'all to direct us into what you got coming, because I know you building and getting ready to push forward into some stuff.
Yeah, I've been ever since I had my time on the show, I've been back in Nashville and I've been recording all different kinds of music, writing new songs, doing a bunch of shows, everything like that. I actually just had my latest release come out in July with one of my good friends that I actually made from the show, Aubrey Nicole. She came in 4th place on Team Reba, and she is just such a genuine, sweet, amazingly talented person. And we came together and we wrote this song, and it turned out to be an incredible duet. We weren't even, at the time planning on singing the song together as a duet or anything like that. And when I got back to Nashville, I was like, I feel that I won't be able to do this song justice without you. We orchestrated it as a duet together, and I feel like, it's going to be killer. So we went to the studio with my producer, Grady Saxman, and he did a fantastic job on it, and it's called Devil Ain't in Hell. And it is available anywhere you listen to music, but I mean, without the voice, we would have never come together and came up with this incredible song.
Bam.
You said you got an album that came out in July?
No, so it's a single that I had with Aubrey, and it's actually our first ever duet for both of our careers. And this was actually also one of the first co-writes that I've ever had with somebody outside of my husband, because he does fantastic songs, is an incredible singer, songwriter, musician himself. And I had yet to co-write with anybody other than him. So it all just kind of came natural too, just me writing with her, because for the longest time I've kind of put off co-writing with people because I wanted to really focus on songwriting myself and know who Makenzie Phipps is writing before I start bringing new people in. But it turned out really good, and I'm very excited that it is out for everybody to listen to, so they can check it out anywhere they listen to music.
Do you anticipate auditioning for, say, America's Got Talent or American Idol, or maybe, can you go back on The Voice again once you go?
You can. However, I feel like I made my mark. I did what I wanted to do, and, that's all that matters to me. But I know, especially, they just announced that season 30, I believe, it's either 30 or, but I know that they just announced, I'm going to have to look, but either season 30 or 31, because like I said, they shoot like 2 seasons at a time. It's going to be a complete different format once again, because season 28 that I was on was like the last normal season thus far, because then they did season 29, which was like Battle of Champions, that kind of thing. So there was only 3 coaches. It was a completely different format. And I think season 30 and 31 are also different, but they just announced that there's like a celebrity season now, which has Queen Latifah, Joe Jonas, and Riley Green on it. So that'll be interesting.
Be ready for them to throw some curveballs. I've heard whispers about them bringing those who got pretty far up in the competition. And there's a lot of different reality competition TV shows that have done some stuff like this, where someone got so far and then they thought they made their mark. She just said it. She doesn't ever have to go back again. She did it. She did everything she needed to do for people who could see. So that's the first one. But for the TV part of it, the engagement TV part of it, there's a cool twist where I've seen them do this, and I've heard little whispers that they'll go back and grab some people from past seasons, not just one season, but collectively, and pull some people back in and go, oh, remember these guys? And be like, uh-oh, so
Yeah.
they can.
They actually had done that with season 29.
There you go. I heard the whispers. I don't watch those. I know a bunch of your alumni. Manny Cabo, I know him. The first 4 chair turn, I don't know how many there's been. I know him. I know Grace West, Karen Waldrop. We're close with her. Yourself. There's quite a few of you guys running around out there, and that's caused me to go back and watch the show, right? Because it's been very engaging. I love the quality of what they put into it. I understand a lot of the moves and why they do it. And then it helps y'all. So I go watch, I go back retroactively. I go back and educate myself on it. But I knew this was coming. I knew they were going to do it. It's been over a couple of years. So I guess since I've heard that, but I haven't been watching it like every episode. So old guy excuse, I play catch up a lot.
I will be going to watch season 28 this evening. I will go and watch, and I will, even though I know how it winds up, I'll still be like biting my fingernails at the end. I'm like, I just talked to her today. You'll be in for a journey. Well, I did that with Karen Walder, but I had never watched The Voice ever, and I just not into that. But Karen Walder, I had been supporting her for several years. She went on the show, watched it to the very end. She made it to the finals. And I was like, I was proud of the fact that she made it to the finals. But again, I was like, man, I can't wait till next season. But I never did go back and watch it. So season 28, I'm going to watch it tonight. And when we get you back in here in 90 days, because that's what we're going to do at the end of the interview, we're going to invite you to come back in about 3 months. But before we get to that point, I want to talk about what do you got going on now? Are you working on new music? You got any albums going on? Tell us what's in the.
She has that single. She just put the single out. Do you have live? What are your big dates you have coming?
Yeah, so I still have shows, lined up till 2026, the end of 2026, which I can't believe we're already, more than halfway through this year. I feel like it's just going by so fast. But I have more songs that I cannot wait to be sharing with everybody before the new year ends. I've been working on, my show calendar moving forward for 2027 and just continuing doing me. And it's just been very exciting, and I just cannot wait to continue writing new music. And, I've been really in the process also, too, trying to assemble a band and start, getting a lot more of my originals written. That way I can start doing, opening gigs for all of these different artists. So I think it's going to be an incredible journey, and I'm very excited to see what the Lord above has in store.
I love your positivity. I love your whole attitude. You got a great attitude. You're gonna experience big things. And again, like you said, it's all because of the man above.
Amen to that.
So, Rhino, what else you got for Makenzie today?
Makenzie, we're just super proud of you, girl. Super impressed. We're ready to introduce you to all of our people. I'm not sure if Rob told you, but you're going out across 84 stations to 192 countries. They're going to get to learn who Makenzie Phipps is if they don't already. That girl from Virginia, West Virginia. And I think you're going to make us better by being part of the tribe, and we're proud to have you.
Well, I appreciate y'all so much for taking the time to talk with me. And for anybody out there that may be interested in following my musical journey, they can check me out on all the socials. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. All of my music is anywhere you listen to music, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, the whole 9 yards. But I am just excited to see what the future holds. And again, I thank y'all so much for taking the time to speak with me.
You have a merch shop?
I do, yes. You can go to my website, MakenziePhipps.com. I actually just released some new hats that are going to be in the making, so I'm excited to have those. And I'm hoping to get some fall, winter items too, because I don't have a ton. So I'm definitely going to be working on that.
So when you're at your gig, do you bring merchandise with you? Do you do a setup like a meet and greet booth, or?
Yeah, I set up my own little merch stand, and people come and they can get their very own Makenzie Phipps merch.
That is awesome. Like we said before the interview, we give you your choice of 2 of your songs that you want us to play. Tell us which 2 you want, and give us a backstory on it.
Yeah, so the first one we can do, Devil Ain't in Hell, since it just released last month in July. And of course, this is the song that I co-wrote with Aubrey Nicole, who is also a contestant on season 28 of The Voice. And this song is just kind of one of those Old West style revenge songs. And it kind of just, talks about you may not know who you're really dealing with until you see him behind closed doors, sort of thing. Kind of just a snake shedding its skin. So everybody could check that out. And then the other one I would pick would be Won't Be Here Forever. This is another song that I wrote actually in honor of my mom. So my mom, one of her favorite little sayings that she likes to tell me is she's like, Makenzie, I'm not going to be here forever. And I'm just like, I don't know why you say that all the time. And she's like, well, it's true. I'm not going to be here forever. And, you need to take my advice with you and live and learn, because one day I'm not going to be here to hold your hand and everything like that. And it just kind of got me thinking of that concept, because I'm so grateful and appreciative to have my mom here. And I know some others may not be that fortunate. So I decided to put this song out there. And also for anybody that may have their moms alive, maybe this will be a sign to you that you need to love on her a little more and appreciate her before, one day you make that phone call and she's not there to answer.
Me and Rhino have both lost our moms, and I don't speak for him, but I'm sure he agrees with me. Time, it just flies on by, and you wish you could have one more day, one more minute. You enjoy your mom as long as you can, Makenzie.
Make sure you look her in the face and tell her how proud you are to be of her and from her. And you're proud of her as the mom that she is. We don't always do the best things looking back, but we do the best we could with what we knew and what we had at our disposal at the moment. And you give grace for that. And that's the greatest gift you'll ever give yourself, is if you look to your mama and you say that while she sees you saying that to her. That's a gift.
No, I completely agree. And, I'm just very thankful to have her here. She's one of my biggest supporters, and I hope people out there resonate with the song as much as I do.
Makenzie, thank you so much for spending time with us today. And like I said, we'll reach out again in about 90 days, right around Christmas or so. And we will see how your Christmas went and is going. And again, very honored to have you with us today.
Well,
I want to get her to bring her co-writing partner on with her. We'll have both the dynamic duo in here.
Oh my goodness.
I think that would be cool. That's what Tribe's about. We show off all of them. We're not a spectator sport. We're full contact, and it's all the family. So just keep that in mind. All are welcome.
I definitely will. But thank y'all so much again for talking with me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Here's your double shot with Makenzie Phipps right here on The Uncle Show.